the power of healing. And healing is nothing but revealing, right? And it's learning to be vulnerable. Now, the problem is that when some people find out that you can be vulnerable, they want you to be vulnerable about the things that they want to know about you, instead of allowing you to be vulnerable when you're ready. If you had a clone, what would you have the clone do? If I had the clone would practically go to work for me, entertain pointless ass conversations with people, so that I wouldn't have to do it, so that they can feel seen, heard, and whatnot. Damn sure would do the laundry in this motherfucker. The clone would pretty much do everything that I don't want to do. Like everything that I use discipline for, that's what I would have the clone do. I would have the clone go to work so that I could stay in the bed and wake up at 1 in the afternoon. I would have the clone go to the gym, throughout the week, on the days that I don't feel like being at the gym. I would have the clone deal with the wounded inner child, so that I wouldn't have to. That's for sure. I just go on like about my business and not worry about a fucking thing. And I would have the clone just do everything without penalty that I may not feel like do, may not have the courage to do at the time. You know what I mean? So it's just less responsibility. Granted, it's gonna look like me, but it's not me. I would have the clone cook on the days I don't feel like fucking cooking. Oh yeah, I would have the clone pretty much operate this entire, like I said, all these businesses that I'm trying to run. I would have that clone do all that while I sat at Bora Bora on the beach and read books and drank drinks out of coconuts and whatever, whatever else that Bora Bora has to offer that I just in my own fantasy believe that it's gonna happen in Bora Bora. I would have that clone assigned to be there for the people that I value that I'm not able to be there for when they, when they need me. Such as let's say my mom needs something or my brother needs something, somebody from the family, my godchildren, my child, you know what I mean? I would have them do all those things. In actuality, talking about it right now, if I were to do that, I would never get the satisfaction of actually doing it myself. As far as being a clone, I think it's great, and it just seems like you wish you had more. You wish you had more time. But everybody that has left their mark on this earth before they left had the same 24 hours that we did. Like I said, a clone, it sounds good in theory, but I wouldn't trade this. I wouldn't trade this for the world, man. I'm just figuring this shit out. I'm gonna make these goddamn mistakes. The clone, what would I have the clone do? Go look for a house for me and find out what I like, you know what I mean? Truthfully, I would have this clone as like an assistant to organize my thoughts, really, as much as possible, so that I can actually sit down and focus on the many things that I have in my head that I want to do. You know what I mean? There's so many ideas, there's so many tasks, there's so much knowledge to soak up. I'll practically use that as a second brain to soak up all the knowledge that I'm trying to obtain, to get these goals and these visions into reality that I've made for myself in this life. And like I said, having a clone, that sounds good in theory, but you don't get the satisfaction as actually doing it yourself. And that's the thing about the struggle. That's the thing about, going through with things and having to suffer, essentially. There's self-sabotage that we have, but then there's just actual suffering that we're going to endure in this life, because everything's not going to go the way that you want them to. You know what I'm saying? Having a clone, I'd have a clone figure out my closet, definitely figure out my closet for fashion and all that stuff. I have to sort that, so that I wouldn't have to do that so much. I mean, truthfully, my clone would probably be like an Alexa. She just lit up over there. But yeah, that's what my clone would be. My clone would do that. Whatever, that would come to mind. It'd take an adjustment period because, as far as like relying on having people, like reliable people and stuff like that, that would be cool to have that. Like getting tasks done, knowing like, hey, I need this done, I need that done. It'd be practically being a boss. It's like having an assistant. But I mean, clone, like I said, clone sounds great in theory, but I don't know. I believe that shit would start to that would start to make you feel unfulfilled. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure a lot of parents, especially moms, can relate how they wish they had, some help, you know what I'm saying, like with this shit. But I mean, if somebody else is, getting time with your kids, you know what I mean? Like, it's a feeling that you're gonna feel unfulfilled. Like, where are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a mom with that, like, you want to be the one that actually does these things. It's painful sometimes, or stressful and annoying as fuck as, kids may be. You know what I mean? Like, it's still that fulfillment of having, that time with your kids, that time with your mom, the time with your dad. And it's the little things, you know what I'm saying? Like the little things. I mean, it just sounds good in theory when you're tired and your body weary. But, actually, you know what I'm saying? But actually being able to do these things, all these tasks that we, have on our plate, it's that's where the fulfillment comes in. So I mean, it's like I said, it's nice to think about in theory, but I believe in the reality that I wouldn't want to clone. You know what I'm saying? I think I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade my life for the world. Everything that I'm going through, I'm supposed to go through, is trying to teach me some shit. Whatever these lessons are, you know what I mean? Everybody got their own tests, different questions, and we got to figure out exactly how to pass the test throughout this life. But all in all, I don't want no clone. What is your actual superpower? My actual superpower in this life, I believe, is healing. Healing in various forms. And I believe that it's not even really me. I believe it's the universe, God, Allah, whoever you pray to, the higher power above me that uses me as a vessel in order to reach people that probably wouldn't listen if it came from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And that power, I believe that it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Because like when people know that you have like this gift, if you will, people want to have, access to that thing, you know what I mean? And then even you, if you're not aware of the, I would say the dangers of it, it can possibly leave someone feeling hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that. I had to learn that throughout this process as far as like understanding healing. And what I mean by that is like being able to have someone be vulnerable with you. You know what I'm saying? And then running away with this idea of you in their mind for whatever, they want to do with them, but it doesn't always add up to your idea. You know what I mean? It's like taking a person for who they like, for what they're, for what they are, not what you want them to be. And sometimes it doesn't always fare that way, especially in an entitled world that we live into. Like I said, the gift of conversation, right? And reading and learning from so many people that have probably helped me. Like I told you, the likes of like the Jordan Petersons, Jocko Willink, the Brene Browns, the J.E.T.Sense, the Rick Rubin, just so many folks, like they're picking their brain of just wisdom, knowledge, emotional intelligence, Buddhist monk, studying Buddha, you know what I mean? Even listening to like the likes of like a T.D. Jakes, even Steve Harvey sometimes, you know what I'm saying, kick stuff, Steve Harvey might be country, but if you're listening closely, if you can, filter out the messenger and just listen to the message, there's so many gems that are passed through these people that decide to write books. They make motivational clips on social media, or you know what I'm saying, and they make videos, they have audiobooks. Like if you literally take the time to listen, you realize the power of healing. And healing is nothing but revealing, right? And it's learning to be vulnerable. Now the problem is that when some people find out that you can be vulnerable, they want you to be vulnerable about the things that they want to know about you, instead of allowing you to be vulnerable when you're ready. You know what I mean? And that doesn't always pan out well. You're not able to force someone to share something about themselves that they're not ready to share. You know what I mean? But that healing power, superpower, like the ability to just talk to someone and listen, and really listening. And part of healing, the superpower is just listening, and learning to listen the way a therapist does, and conversation, that is. Like a conversation is one-sided when a person is talking. It's recommended that we don't try to cut them off because we get so excited. You know what I'm saying? Like we have something we want to add and we tend to cut people off, you know what I'm saying, myself included at times. But actually listening, not listening to reply, but listening to understand, and allowing that person to say how they feel, get their thoughts out, and then returning with, you know what I'm saying, a rebuttal, a reply, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Once you've gotten all, you know what I'm saying, once you got all the food on your plate, then you can, you know what I'm saying, talk about it. And then you can feed them as well with what you have in your mind. But, like the Bruce Lee thing of, if my cup is already full, now I'm not gonna listen to anything that you have to pour into it. You know what I mean? Like you have to go into conversations, into sometimes situations that you have with an empty cup, because if you believe that you know everything about everything, you've stopped learning. You've officially stopped learning, and once you stop learning, there's the only way to go is down. And the beauty of life is that life is a classroom that never ends. You're gonna see the same test until you pass it, and life is gonna throw at you different tests. You know what I'm saying? As we get older and see things, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna see the same scenarios just with different people, and we wonder how we end up in the same shit. And you're like, damn, what the fuck? I've been through this shit before. I've been with somebody that's taking advantage of me and all this. What is it about me? The common denominator is you, and it's like. You obviously didn't do this to yourself, but you allowed it to be done. And if we can see that we have more power, the power is in our presence. The power is in our voice. The power is in taking part. You know what I'm saying? Like learning to not show up to the fuckery. And you gotta look at, I was reading it this week, and like learning to look at life through energy and not the person. when you feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, watch how you feel when you're around certain people, when you talk to certain people. There's a certain energy, and it's nothing to be taken personal. But where you are in life might not be where that energy is, you know what I'm saying, anymore. And don't let history keep you in some fuck shit. And like recognize how important it is to spend time with yourself. The more you spend time with yourself, by the time you get around people that's not really meant for you anymore, you'll be able to recognize that, and you'll let those boosters go so that you can go to another altitude. And that's the beauty that you learn from healing, right? And having conversations with people. I prefer to talk to strangers versus like people that you get to know. Don't get me wrong, I love, you know what I'm saying, like the people that I can actually have thorough conversations with, and they don't make it about them, and you know what I'm saying, they don't bring ego into it, they don't, you know what I mean, like those conversations I cherish. I love that shit. But when you talk to a stranger, you don't have any expectation of them, you know what I mean, you just having a conversation, and they can say how they feel without you getting offended, you know what I'm saying, or having to worry about if you're gonna get pissed off if you say something like this, you know what I mean? And it's like learning to talk to the people you love like they were strangers. You know what I'm saying? Value them, have unconditional love for self. You know what I mean? Like, don't take anything personal. For whatever reason, when we start to get to know somebody, we feel like love is about possession, and that person needs to say what we want them to say. And they don't always feel that way, but learning to talk to people as if they were strangers is, and by that, what I mean by that is just having no expectations of them, of what they're going to say, just taking their, whatever, however they feel. You're not talking to fit into a particular group. You allow that person to have their own thoughts and respect that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that again, actual superpower, healing, yes. Having the ability to talk to people and allow them to look at things from a different perspective in a way that allows them to heal. Because truthfully, whenever we are down in the dumps, and at least to me, don't get me wrong, I think there's definitely something more to just naturally having depression. I think there's a genetic thing or of some sort. But a lot of cases with our depression and anxiety, we're looking at things. We're looking at things from this perspective instead of multiple perspectives. You know what I mean? That can shift the way we actually feel about something. It's not the event itself. It's our thoughts about the event that tend to fuck with us. You know what I mean? And once we learn the power of shifting our mindset and the beauty of shifting our mindset, our lives will get so much better. And removing toxicity, removing negative energy, like nobody's business, yo. Like, what's very important at this point in our lives, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, being 37, turning 38 this year, is peace, man. It's been that, honestly, peace has been the mission since 30. And it's just so crazy. It's like having people come into your life that try to project their insecurities on you is so fucking draining. And the more you read, the more you learn, the more you experience these things, you recognize the sails from the anchors. You know what I mean? Like as they say, the attachments and then the connections. Connections give you energy as to where attachments drain the fuck out of you. And asking yourself, where do I place them in my life? You know what I mean? Like, how much time do I want to spend around someone that I feel drains me? You know what I mean? But I'm sure that you guys have to assess that with yourself. But when I say like an actual superpower, I would believe I have is healing, and that's just by having healing conversations, healthy conversations with individuals, allowing people to feel heard and loved, and again, doing your best not to judge. Because like Mother Teresa says, if I judge you, I'm not able to love you. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep that in mind because, again, I'm human. I've had some domestication put onto me that kind of makes, tends to leave me judging something, you know what I mean? But it's about recognizing yourself and trying to better yourself. The only competition is you yesterday. So anyway, I'm sure y'all got powers. And if you got powers, put your power in the fucking comment. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what your actual, what you believe your actual superpower is. What do you look forward to every day? Every day, I look forward, first off, giving gratitude to the universe, giving gratitude to God. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to sending positive and healing energy to the world, really, and the specific people, specific person, sending that, the encouragement and the ability to just do great things to my daughter. That's something that I do on a daily basis. Not a day that goes by that I wish that upon her, for her to do great things with her life. And what else do I look forward to? I look forward to the day's challenge, whatever that's gonna be. The task that I have set for myself. So on the days that I have therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, therapy has become so second nature. It's like getting up to brush your teeth, you know what I'm saying? Or the gym. Like, bag is always packed by the door in my room and just ready to go. And it's autopilot, after time. I wouldn't clarify myself to be a morning person, if you will. It takes a lot of discipline to get me going in the morning. I would prefer to stay in the bed and just sleep my life away. But that's also like my stemming from I would say a form of depression for me. So I do my best to stay busy. You know what I mean? And what else I look forward to? I look forward to getting in contact with those that I value. You know what I mean? Just figuring out what they got going on in their lives. You know what I mean? Whether that be friends, family, you know what I'm saying, co-workers or whatnot. I look forward to challenging myself every day to just to be better than I was yesterday, and at the same time having grace, learning to have grace with oneself, because that perfectionist bug of your work ethic can somewhat get in the way. I mean, it's great that you want to work that hard. Just be kind with yourself the way that you're kind with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I think of what they say: think light of the world and and heavy of yourself, or whatever. So want to take proper care of your mind. Not to beat yourself up. Don't you got to change that whisper, the voice that whispers to you, saying that you're not enough. Let that punk ass die. I look forward to meditation in various form, reading books. It's been one of my favorite forms of meditation, actual breathing exercises and sitting in silence. Sitting in silence. Like when I get off of work, and sometimes before work, I'll tell Alexa to play, like spa music and shit like that, and just sit with that and just allow me to think clearly. Some days I look forward to making it to the beach. I feel like there's a connection to, that we have, our souls have to nature. And on those days where I can plan that, where I can get to the beach and just sit with her, sit with Oceana, because she's a healer. She takes all that negative energy away from you. Water sources do that. Like when you're in the shower, it's like an aura thing where you can just imagine negative energy flushing the body. You know what I'm saying? Washing it all away, going down the drain, and like being even more connected to the soul. I look forward to ego deaths every day, because that ego is a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And obviously our upbringings can have a tremendous effect on how bad our egos can be, as far as like the ego death, and just recognizing that nothing that anyone does is about you. Your problems are not bigger than anyone else's. You're not better than anybody else. You're literally in your own cubicle working in life. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We all find a way to contribute to our society in the best way that we know how, so that we can be better people and leave our mark here on this earth before we leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look forward to finding meaning in the suffering every day. Like, whatever I feel like I'm suffering from, what would be the meaning behind this? And I look forward to finding out if it's self-sabotage. Sometimes you can be your own problem, and it's nobody else but you. And you know what I'm saying? It's like all about your mindset. I look forward to letting go, unlearning shit that no longer serves me. You know what I mean? Like thoughts from childhood that was programmed in. You know what I'm saying? From your peers, whether it be your friends that you had, your parents, the rest of your family, stuff that was going on, unlearning that, but like, man, that's just not healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's not beneficial for me anymore. I look forward to planning for the next day at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a whole bunch of lists, and you know what I'm saying, making agendas and figuring out things that, what can I do to better myself? I look forward to creating goals. I look forward to looking at my goals. I look forward to looking at things that I want in this life and manifesting them, you know what I'm saying, from writing them down and looking at them every day. It's a manifestation. A lot of things that started out as ideas become these things in reality. For instance, the YouTube show. I mean, I had an idea about it. Me and my boy Pug was talking about it, and you know, it was almost like we wasn't too sure, you know, as far as like what if we wanted to do a particular setting, you know, setup like this. But fuck it. Truth be told, it was just like, all right, I'm gonna do one. We'll see the response on it. You know what I'm saying? And you learn as we go along, and that's what I try to do, is do the best that I can each time. And I don't know. I mean, I believe it's been beneficial for me. I've learned a lot about myself. You know what I mean, from doing it, and I'm just, like I said, just grateful. You know. So that's another thing about the show. I look forward to coming up with different ideas. You know what I'm saying? And not just for the YouTube show, but even for podcasting, and what conversations can we have that bring people together to change the way they think about something in a positive way for their life, something that relieves stress, something that, you know, removes suffering when they hear it, so they understand that we are interbeing, we're not alone here on this earth. And you know, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people project their you know, whatever pain they're going through on the inside out, and you have to be mindful of that. And I do my best, you know, to not take things personal, to not make assumptions about shit, to be impeccable with my word, and always do my best for agreements. I do my best to follow those guidelines on a day-to-day basis. It is a struggle, but, you know, with practice, you know, makes progress. And, but I mean, these things that I think about, you know, like I look forward throughout the day, is being productive, man. Like I feel fulfilled and unfulfilled at the end of the day at the same time. Like, I know I've done so much for myself, and probably even some others, just listening, allowing people to vent. They feel the need, but not too much, because you don't want to take on too many people's shit, because their energy is contagious. So if somebody's coming at you with some negative shit, you know what I'm saying, quite often, you might want to limit the time that you talk to them. You know what I mean? Because that shit is contagious. It's nothing personal. It's just, you got to take care of you. You got to put your mask on first, and whatever energy they have, it can transfer over. They'll be fine, and then you sitting there with their negative energy that you didn't even ask for. So you got to allow people to solve their own problems. You allow individuals to see how powerful they are by themselves, and you don't necessarily have to walk in their shoes. You just walk beside them. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. You got your shit, I got my shit. That's how we gonna take care of each other. I'm gonna take care of my shit. You take care of your shit. I'll see you at the finish line, nigga. You know what I mean? I look forward to finding music. You know what I'm saying? Music that moves me. I've been moved by, I'll say, current, like modern music in a long time. You know, I have a very biased love for 70s soul and funk, and I just feel like you felt music then. Because again, 70s soul, 70s funk. But and there's everything else, you know. But I like 70s soul and funk is like that's your wife. You know, everybody else is, you know, that's some side pieces right there. 80s, you know, 80s R&B, 90s R&B, rap, hard rock, alternative, you know, rock, punk, even some country. You know what I'm saying? EDM music, from living in Miami all those years. What is it? What else? Salsa, merengue, bachata. Yeah, definitely bachata. All influenced by living in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like meeting different people and being influenced by music. That's what we would trade. You know what I'm saying? That's like how we connected and all that. So I look forward to those things. You know what I'm saying? Whenever they happen. I like those random moments where you hear something I'm like, damn. I'm like, I fuck with that, you know? But yeah, I mean, my day, I look forward to protecting my peace. Like through all in all, I do my best to protect my peace, to not allow anyone to disturb that peace as much as possible too. And that is a fucking mission in itself, because we're all going through shit, you know what I'm saying? Some people get filled up with so much pain that they have to project it out. And you gotta be mindful of it. You gotta be mindful that it's not about you. And push forward and back the fuck away. Love them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's COVID now, nigga. Just give me 6 feet. Give me 6 feet. I don't want no problems. Give me 6 feet. Back the fuck up. You feel me? But, you know, it's just understanding what's best for you. And I look forward to that daily. Learning what's best for me. And that's it. No apologies about it. You get one life. This life is about you. And everybody's, you know, everybody's plan for your life may not be your plan for your life. They can have recommendations, but ultimately you gotta live it. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you that going to school on a full ride is probably like, that's a great thing, because I'm thinking from my own belief system. But for you, it might be something different. You might want to do something else. And, you know, that shit I think about on daily. Is it easier to love or to be loved? I would have to say it's easier to love, because that's the only thing you have control over. I mean, we somehow, some of us believe that we're still in our child minds and that we can, you know, control the type of love that we get, like from our parents and shit. But truthfully told, the only thing that we can control is our ability to love. So what we give to others. I believe it's easier to love. And that's why, like, I can trust my ability to do certain things. But as far as trusting someone to be there for me, trusting someone to love me unconditionally, nah. And that's the whole ordeal, you know, like for me. It's just like leaving your mark on this earth by just giving love unconditionally in various ways to the people that you value, people that you come across in life. Kindness goes a very, very long way. And there's people that are unsure of who's good and who's bad, so they come off a bit rough in this life. You know what I'm saying? It's fear. It's fear-based. And we don't want to live in fear. We want to live in love. And we're all guilty of doing it, of like finding ourselves living in fear. of something, fear of being hurt, fear of being taken advantage of, fear of not being enough, fear of failing, fear of success, fear of it working out, fear of it not working out. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, so what am I to do? How do I combat this thing? I don't know. But I mean, love, right? Love means something different to every one of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, and we have this tendency of basing it upon our own belief system. I'm guilty of it as well. But love means, I believe love means something different, or like if you study something, you know, like me in the manosphere, understanding that love, that men and women love differently. You know, men love idealistically where women love opportunistically. You know what I'm saying? And that's just looking at it from a scientific standpoint, right? But I mean, love might mean, you know, hey babe, you wanna go to Walmart? You know, love might mean, hey, Martin coming on, you know, telling you that that's what my dad would do. You know, like, hey, wrestling finna come on, wrestling, not wrestling, but wrestling finna come on. Love can come in different, like I said, it comes in so many different forms, right? And sometimes we can misconstrue love for pain. And sometimes we can misconstrue pain for love. And but the only thing we can control is our ability to give it. And what that is, I mean, and learning what healthy love looks like, right? If you're like me, you grew up not really seeing, I don't think we saw healthy love, you know what I'm saying? No, none of us, you know, love was cracking jokes. You know what I mean? Like, love was making sure that you have food on the table, but reminding you who put the food there, you know what I'm saying? So conditional love. Love has been tainted. Love means do as I say. Love means you do what I want you to do. And if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm gonna remove said love from you. So love has been used as a possessive control thing, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of us are a bit misconstrued about when someone tells us they love us, what that really fucking means. When some people tell you they love you, they're only doing it so they can hear it told back to them because they don't love themselves enough. You know I've done that throughout my life, for sure, saying a lot of things and being overly affectionate for fear of not being lovable, and it happens. You know what I'm saying? It's just learning. It's learning who you are. It's learning to love yourself. But all in all, the only thing that you have control over is your ability to love others. Whether someone, you know, loves you, you don't really fucking know. You know what I'm saying? You have to love yourself enough to not tolerate certain behaviors. That's what really matters. I believe that's what really fucking matters. I think that, I believe that I can tell you I love you, and I punch you in the face. You know what I mean? Like, if you believe that that's what love is, then you're gonna be confused. You're gonna go through this life feeling confused. And some of us were taught violently what love was in our lives and shit, and we tend to hang around and tolerate fuck shit from people that don't love themselves, let alone love us. You know what I'm saying? How can you? It's hard to believe a person that says they love you when they don't love themselves enough. You know what I'm saying? And I believe we're all guilty of that. You know, and without even thinking, like, from an unconditional standpoint, we may love in a conditional way, but loving ourselves unconditionally, I believe that's the way to go, right? And I preach about it every chance I get, because that is the way that we release ourselves from the harm that we've created in this life. So, like I said, I wish positive and healing energy to everyone. I hope that everyone learns forgiveness for the things that you've done, forgiveness for the things that others have done to them. Even for my own life, you know, I hope that the people that felt like I've caused them harm are able to forgive me for not knowing any better, not being mindful of them. You know what I'm saying? And I have to learn the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? As far as like being mindful of their own things. You know what I'm saying? That they go through, and that they feel like I may have influenced that. I mean, truthfully, we control what hurts us. We control what gets to us. You know, easily offended, easily manipulated. But I just, you know, I believe it's easier, for me, it's easier to love than it is to be loved. And love isn't about, I mean, truthfully, I mean, control, right? And I'll say that the true essence of love, right? Like a love, you don't want to control a person. You allow that person to be free, whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, obviously you have healthy boundaries for yourself, you know, especially like as a man controlling a frame in a relationship, you have to have healthy boundaries, you know, because it comes with your position as being a leader in a relationship. Now, in modern society, women have been the quintessential quote unquote leaders in relationships, and there's certain healthy boundaries that they would have